Sean Zarilla here from the Action Network, and I'm joined by horse racing expert Mike Conti to break down the 153rd running of the Belmont Stakes, my personal favorite leg of the Triple Crown. They're going to go 1.5 miles on the dirt at Big Sandy, 6:49 p.m. post time on Saturday. Your morning line favorite, the number 2 Essential Quality, 2-1. He was also the Kentucky Derby morning line favorite, but Mattress Mac, the famous furniture salesman, not dropped over $2 million on Essential Quality that day. I think Rock Your World might have been the morning line favorite because he had received the most money besides Essential Quality. Rock Your World, 9-2 here on the morning line, could potentially be the controlling speed in this race. Another top choice, the number 3 Rombauer, 3-1 on the morning line. He was the Preakness winner. Conti, I think I know where I'm going on this race, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. So how do you see this one playing out?
But you mentioned Rock Your World, who I think this time will be the pace. Rock Your World last time in the Derby had just a terrible trip. And also, frankly, Joel Rosario had his foot out of the left iron. Some people said it was because the gates were more narrow. He brushed up against the gate coming out, and that really ended all of his chances. People expected him to be much closer. I expect him to be the controlling pace in this race. 2 back in the Santa Anita Derby, which was his first try on dirt. He won, frankly, going away, had the lead the whole time, gate to wire, beat Medina Spirit, who crossed the wire in front at the Derby. Now we know has been disqualified as your Derby winner. But the other interesting stat that I have for you on this one, Sean, is Candy Ride, who is the sire, the father of Rock Your World, wins at 20 or 21% in grade for his offspring in grade 1 races. So an interesting stat. One of the reasons why I actually played Rock Your World in the Santa Anita Derby. John Sadler said that this was always the plan, go turf to start the career, move to the dirt. Here's my trouble with Rock Your World and why I'm not on him as a win contender in the Belmont is you mentioned Belmont is known as the Big Sandy. It has big sweeping turns. It's a deep track. And it's a track that is definitely taxing on horses and can wear on horses. Rock Your World is shipping in directly from Santa Anita, is not getting a work over the ground here at Belmont. And so while he is the controlling pace, I don't like him in here. I think you mentioned number 2, Essential Quality, the 2-1 morning line favorite. While I think Essential Quality will get a much better trip than he did in the Derby, he was caught 4 wide all the way around the track and just couldn't have that finishing kick or that finishing punch to get by Medina's Spirit. And while I do think he makes the most sense at 2-1 as your winner, the horse that I actually like and where I'll be placing my money is number 6, Known Agenda for trainer Todd Pletcher. Pletcher just inducted into the Racing Hall of Fame. He always does very well with the New York horses and in New York in general. Known Agenda was in the 1 hole for the Derby, really lost all chances at the start, closed with some interest, but obviously couldn't finish anywhere near the money, finished 9th in that race. The 2 prior races to that, one of them being the Florida Derby, where he won in impressive fashion. He drifted out. He looked a little green there. I think he's coming into his own. He's been working really well over the Belmont track. He also has a race under this Belmont track. Granted, it was his first start last September as a maiden where he finished 2nd. But I love horses, especially on Belmont Day, that have a trip over the track, that have been working well. And I think that this scenario sets up really, really well for Known Agenda. So he's going to be my top pick in here. You mentioned Rombauer. Obviously, horse that stepped up huge in terms of his speed figures to win the Preakness. And I love the story for trainer Mike McCarthy. I just don't know in here, and definitely not at 3-1. Is he really a horse that I like in here? The other one that a lot of people are talking about, Hot Rod Charlie, another one who was caught wide the entire time, similar to Essential Quality. At the top of the stretch in the Derby, it looked like it was going to come down to Mandaloon, Essential Quality, Hot Rod Charlie. Medina Spirit was just able to re-rally and outlast them all. In terms of a price to use underneath in the Belmont in your vertical wagers, your trifectas, your superfectas, is Francisco de Ina. The horse was really keyed up. They couldn't get the horse to settle down going into the Preakness. At a huge price of 30 to 1 on the morning line, I think he's one that has a chance again to get on the bottom half of your tries or your superfectas. So a long shot to definitely include.
And I do think that this is a tougher field than Rombauer faced in the Preakness. Also in the Belmont, you generally need to have a forward running style in order to come out on top of the race. Rombauer going to be a little bit further back than some of the other top contenders here. Hot Rod Charlie, I actually thought he had a pretty decent trip in the Derby. And in my opinion, if one of the other top contenders in this race, even Rombauer, but also Known Agenda, Rock Your World, and Essential Quality, if they run their best race, I don't think Hot Rod Charlie is good enough to beat them. Known Agenda, completely agree with everything you said. My Derby horses were Known Agenda, Essential Quality, and Mandaloon. Don't want to get into the whole Mandaloon situation, but Known Agenda will absolutely be on my Belmont tickets. Rock Your World, I think he's better on the turf. I don't know if he wants the 1.5 miles. So I'm going to be at a little bit against him here, but really this narrows down to Essential Quality for me. I think he is the perfect grinding running style to win this race. Most importantly, if you go by adjusted feet per second running times in the Derby, Essential Quality ran 68 more feet than any other horse in that field on feet per second. He actually outran all of them and was within a length of the leader. So Essential Quality to me is not only the most likely winner, he's also the horse that will be on top of my tickets. And I'll be keying bets around him. I think for Brad Cox, he had been pointing this horse to the Belmont the entire time, and he always considered this the most likely leg of the Triple Crown that he would win. So it's Essential Quality for me. Underneath, if I'm going to use a long shot horse to hit the Superfecta, going to be the number 8 Overtook. Todd Pletcher has 3 horses in this field, and of those, Overtook is by far the most significantly priced. So I do like him. Slightly underneath is a potential long shot to hit the board. Adding blinkers back here should be closer to the pace. Ideally, I don't really think this is going to be an upset race. I think we're going to get a very chalky exacta, trifecta, superfecta.